Lena is going to share how I took control of my life and broke free from the negative influence of my husband, Henrik. For privacy, I'll use different names. I'm a well-known lawyer in my state, so keeping my identity secret is really important. There's no need to go into all the details of how Henrik and I met, fell in love, got married, and then divorced. The truth is, our love wasn't equal. Henrik cheated on me, and I eventually found out. The signs were always there. He avoided me, spent a lot of time away from home, and constantly went on business trips. Although I wasn't involved in his large business, I had a successful career as a lawyer. However, Henrik looked down on me because I didn't make as much money as he did. One day, while he was away on another one of his business trips, I decided to dig deeper. Using his old laptop, I found a secret Facebook account. It was there that I finally confirmed what I had suspected all along. He was having an affair. He had been seeing a beautiful woman, someone he thought was more attractive than me. He always criticized the way I looked, which hurt me deeply. Devastated and angry, I confronted him as soon as I could. "Henrik, are you cheating on me?" "I have proof," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He didn't deny it. Instead, he coldly replied, "Lena, you're just not that interesting anymore. You're always too busy with your pointless cases. And besides, you're not exactly a model, are you?" I was shocked and hurt. "What are you talking about, Henrik? You knew I had a demanding job when we got married. I've never neglected you. It's you who stopped caring and refused to talk to me," I argued, trying to make sense of what he was saying. But Henrik didn't care. He just blamed me for everything, saying his cheating was my fault. I couldn't believe how cold he was being. Instead of apologizing, he seemed relieved that I had found out about the affair. "Good that you know now," he said with a chilling calmness. "I don't have to hide my beautiful girlfriend anymore. We're going to have the perfect life together, and I'll finally be with someone who deserves me." His words felt like a punch to the gut. I was stunned. He wasn't just admitting to the affair, he was proudly announcing it, as if he was better off without me. I had been loyal to him for over a decade, standing by his side through everything, and now he was throwing me away like I meant nothing. Tears filled my eyes as I asked, "How could you say that, Henrik? After everything we've been through, how can you be so heartless?" But he just shrugged, saying, "It doesn't matter anymore, Lena. I'm a successful man now, and a plain woman with a fancy law degree isn't good enough for me." I was furious. "How can you treat me like this? I've been a good wife, even if I don't fit your shallow idea of beauty. And now you want a divorce?" He corrected me sharply. "I'm not thinking about divorce, Lena. I've already decided. I'm done with you. I've hired a lawyer, and you should move out before I get back. I don't want to see your ugly face anymore." A few hours after that phone call, Henrik sent a friend to deliver the divorce papers. His friend looked at me with pity as he handed them over. I took the papers, closed the door, and broke down in tears. I felt like I had wasted years of my life on a man who didn't care about me. But as I sat there, I realized I wasn't going to let him destroy me. I was stronger than that. I was going to take control of my life. When Henrik's friend mentioned that Henrik wanted to drag out the divorce, I finally understood why. We had a prenup, and Henrik had promised that if he cheated, I'd get half of his business. That was why he wanted to delay everything. He hoped I would give up. But I wasn't going to let that happen. Determined, I called his lawyer and set up a meeting. Within 2 days, I had moved out of Henrik's house and back into my childhood home, which was mine. I texted Henrik to let him know, saying, "I've taken my ugly face and body out of your house." He replied smugly, boasting about his lawyer's reputation, but I remained calm and warned him, "I'm not giving up what's rightfully mine." Henrik didn't expect me to fight back, but I was ready. I told him, "From now on, you can talk to me only through my lawyer." His words had hurt me, but they had also lit a fire inside me. His arrogance made me even more determined to win. When I finally met with Henrik's lawyer, Oscar, at a cafe, I could see he wasn't prepared for what was coming. He knew I was a lawyer, but he didn't know how strong I was. When he recognized me, he looked nervous. His hands shook as we talked, and I could tell that Henrik had completely underestimated me. Henrik never believed I could be a threat, but now he was about to find out just how wrong he was. I held back from intimidating Oscar further. After all, it wasn't his fault that I was in this situation. I greeted him politely. "Hello, Oscar. Nice to see you here." His eyes widened in surprise. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting you to show up," Oscar stammered, clearly flustered. "The last names don't match because I got married after I got my law degree. I've been using my maiden name for professional purposes," I explained, trying to ease the tension. I see," Oscar muttered, still looking uncomfortable. "So, I'm guessing you want to drag out this case, right?" "That's what my client has told me," Oscar said, trying to sound professional. I shook my head. "Your client has been misleading you, Oscar. He's the one who wants to make this case take longer, not me. Did he not tell you that?" I asked, knowing that my reputation as a lawyer spoke for itself. Oscar squirmed a bit under my questioning. I could tell he wasn't used to being in this position. "You don't have to answer that, Oscar. I've known Henrik for over a decade. I married the guy, for heaven's sake. I know exactly what goes through that thick skull of his," I said, almost feeling bad for Oscar, who was just doing his job. Wanting to help him out, I decided to be honest with him. "Look, Oscar, since we've worked together before and I don't want to make things harder for you, I'll tell you the truth about this divorce." Oscar blinked in surprise. "What do you mean, ma'am?" he asked, clearly caught off guard. "Did my lovely husband mention to you that he cheated on me?" I asked, watching his face closely. Oscar's reaction confirmed what I had suspected. Henrik hadn't told him the whole story. No, I don't think he told me that," Oscar replied, looking uncomfortable. "But he did warn me that you might make some wild accusations because, in his words, you just want to ruin him." I chuckled softly. "Oh, Oscar, your client has played you like a fiddle. But hey, he thinks you're one of the best lawyers out there, so there's that." Oscar smiled a little, but he quickly admitted, "I don't think I'll ever measure up to you, ma'am. I didn't even know you were a lawyer. He only told me you worked at a law firm." "Of course, he didn't mention it," I sighed. "Henrik never really took my career seriously. He always downplayed my work, like it wasn't important. It was foolish of me to stay with him for so long. But at least I was smart enough to sign a prenup." Oscar's eyes widened, and he looked shocked. It was obvious that Henrik hadn't told him about the prenup either. "There's a prenup in this marriage? Your husband didn't mention that." "Do you have any proof, ma'am?" he asked, sounding a bit rattled. "Oh, I have plenty of proof," I said calmly. "I brought the papers with me, actually." I had a feeling Henrik would try to wiggle out of the consequences of his actions, but I wasn't about to let that happen. Oscar looked even more nervous. "I'd like to see those papers, ma'am. And if you have proof of his affair, I'll need to see that as well." I smiled slightly. "Don't worry, Oscar, I brought everything with me. Messages, pictures, documents, you name it. It's all right here." I casually handed him the evidence from my bag, knowing that once he saw it all, there was no way this case would drag on. Oscar studied the documents carefully, his expression growing more defeated by the minute. After going through everything, he looked up at me with a resigned expression. "I can see you have solid proof of everything, ma'am." "I had no idea about all of this," he admitted. "I figured that out," I said, feeling a bit sorry for him. "I know how hard it is to deal with unreliable clients, especially when the other side has a strong case." "You're right about that, ma'am," Oscar said, sounding weary. "I think I need to have a serious conversation with my client before moving forward. Someone will contact you soon, but I can't say it'll be me." I knew what Oscar was hinting at, but I didn't press him. I thanked him for his time, gathered my things, and left the cafe. As I walked out, I felt a renewed sense of determination. All the sadness I had been feeling was gone, replaced by a burning drive to make sure Henrik paid for what he had done. There was no way out for him now. The very next day, Henrik called me, despite telling me not to contact him directly. I wasn't surprised. I knew he would panic once he realized the mess he was in. When I answered the call, I could hear the anger in his voice. "What the hell did you say to my lawyer, Lena?" he demanded. I couldn't help but smirk. Well, look who's calling after telling me to stay away." "So, what happened with your lawyer, Henrik?" "Stop playing games, Lena. Tell me what you said to him that made him quit," he shouted. Oh, your lawyer quit? That's too bad, I said sarcastically. I guess you should have been more honest about your situation, Henrik. Henrik was furious and lashed out, saying, "You don't know what you're talking about. You're a nobody, Lena. There's no way I'm letting you take my family business from me." "Oh, I'd love to see you try, Henrik," I replied calmly. "Go ahead and hire the best lawyer you can find. Just wait and watch. I'll destroy you in court. You'll be begging me for mercy." Henrik scoffed. "You think you can beat me? I'll make sure you lose everything." His voice was full of anger, but I wasn't fazed. "Good luck with that, Henrik. But here's a tip from a lawyer. Make sure you tell your new lawyer about your affair and the prenup," I said with a smile. Henrik was stunned and hung up on me without another word. I chuckled to myself. He was in deep trouble and didn't even realize it yet. He thought he could go around town trying to find a lawyer who would help him, but I knew better. I had a strong reputation, and any lawyer smart enough would steer clear of Henrik once they saw the mess he had gotten himself into. He said he'd make me beg for mercy, but I knew it was only a matter of time before he'd be the one begging me. I was right. Not long after, one morning while I was getting ready for work, there was a knock at my door. It was early, and I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, there he was, my soon-to-be ex-husband, Henrik, looking miserable and exhausted. I invited him in, not wanting to cause a scene outside my home. As soon as he stepped inside, I said, "Make it quick, Henrik. I don't have time to waste on you. I don't even know why you're here. We were supposed to be communicating through lawyers." Henrik sighed and looked at the floor. "Yeah, about that. I haven't found a good divorce lawyer yet," he muttered. "How unfortunate," I replied with a smirk. "You better hurry up, Henrik. I hear your Lovisa is eager to marry you." "I'm not worried about her anymore," he said, his voice low. "Lena, we need to talk. You've been sabotaging my chances of getting a lawyer. That's not fair." I burst out laughing. "Oh, Henrik, you really think this is my fault? You're the one who's sabotaging yourself. You've lied to your lawyers about the affair and the prenup. Do you think any lawyer wants to represent someone like you? You're unreliable, and besides, my name alone is enough to make people walk away. You may think I'm useless, but I have a good reputation in this profession." Henrik sighed again. "I know that now, Lena. I've even tried being honest with the lawyers, but none of them want to take my case." "Well, that's what happens when you try to fight an ironclad prenup, Henrik. You should have thought your affair through, but it's too late now. No decent lawyer is going to help you, and you're going to end up giving me half of your business." The look on Henrik's face said it all. He didn't want to lose his business, and he had been hoping to drag the divorce out long enough that I'd give up and walk away without taking what I was owed. But now he realized no one was going to side with him. Seeing he had no other options left, Henrik did the only thing he thought he could. He started to cry. "Lena, you know how much this business means to me. Please don't take it from me. You can have everything else, just don't ask for the business." "Why not, Henrik?" I said, crossing my arms. "You're the one who put the clause in the prenup about splitting the business if you cheated. You think I'm just going to walk away from what's rightfully mine after everything you've done?" "It was a mistake, Lena. I know I messed up. I've put my relationship with her on hold because I know how wrong I was. Maybe we can work things out. Maybe this whole thing will make us stronger," he said, looking at me with desperate eyes. His words made me laugh out loud. The audacity of this man. After everything, he was now asking to get back together? I knew he had paused his relationship with his Lovisa. Rumors were going around that she wasn't happy and neither was he, but if he thought I was going to take him back, he was dead wrong. "You've got to be delusional if you think I'd get back with you, Henrik," I said, shaking my head. "I didn't come this far by being stupid. You don't want me back. You just don't want to lose your business. Lena, we were happy once. Let's put this behind us and restart our marriage." "I'll cut off my Lovisa, I promise," he pleaded. "There's no need for that, Henrik. Believe me, she'll be gone the moment she finds out you're not going to be as rich as she thought after this divorce. As for me, this is my chance to finally walk away from this joke of a marriage." Henrik's face fell as he realized there was no convincing me. I had made my decision, and there was no going back. He had betrayed me, and now he was going to face the consequences. I have to thank you, Henrik, for showing me your true self before we ever had kids. Now you're going to face the consequences of your actions. You'll reap what you've sown. With that, I was done. I didn't say another word while Henrik continued begging and pleading for me not to take his business. It was pathetic, really, but his desperation didn't move me at all. Instead, it reminded me of all the nights I cried myself to sleep because of his betrayal. Seeing him in such a vulnerable position gave me a deep sense of satisfaction, like my revenge was finally complete. Now, I just needed a clean break, so I could start over fresh. Karma hit Henrik hard and fast. For weeks, he tried everything to get me to come back. He begged, he promised, but I didn't care. I wasn't interested in his drama anymore. I was done. Since he had already filed for divorce, I hired someone from my firm to represent me. I'm not a divorce lawyer, and besides, I wanted as little contact with Henrik as possible. After a month of trying to change my mind, Henrik had no choice but to get a lawyer and agree to a clean break. He knew that if I took him to court, he would only embarrass himself and waste money on court-appointed lawyers. So, he gave up and asked for a mutual split. Thanks to the prenup, the divorce was straightforward for me. I had more than enough proof of his cheating, and as per the prenup, Henrik was required to give me half of his business. Of course, he wasn't happy about it, but there was no way out for him. He had to sign over half of his business to me. We offered him a chance to buy me out, but he didn't have the money. Now, you might wonder why a big business owner like Henrik didn't have any cash. Well, he had spent almost all of it on his Lovisa. And guess what? That same Lovisa wasn't taking his calls or texts anymore. She quickly figured out that Henrik wasn't going to be rich after the divorce. Now, no one wants to date her because everyone knows she's a gold digger. I guess what goes around really does come around. But the Lovisa was just the start of Henrik's problems. With half of his business gone, his income took a serious hit. He couldn't even afford to keep his big mansion, so he had to sell it. These days, he's renting a condo, a major downgrade from the lavish life he used to live. He did try to win me back, hoping that if we got back together, he'd regain full control of his business. But, of course, that's never going to happen. Now, he has two choices: keep things as they are or somehow save enough money to buy me out. Either way, his life will never be what it was. As for me, I'm doing great. I hired someone to manage my share of Henrik's business, and it's been going really well. I even upgraded my lifestyle by buying a new mansion, thanks to my combined income from my law practice and the business. Life is good, and I'm genuinely happy. Looking back, the divorce ended up being a blessing in disguise. Instead of being played by my ex-husband and his Lovisa, I came out on top. I ruined their lives, improved mine, and now I'm living my best life. I couldn't ask for a better outcome.